In the last lesson, we talked about how to execute literal select statements that contain strings or text values. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about how you can execute literal select statements to evaluate mathematical expressions and how the order of operations plays a role in how those expressions are evaluated. So if you have a query window open, great. If not, click on AdventureWorks 2012 and then press New Query to get a blank query window. All right. Again, every select statement is going to start off with the word select. And again, notice how it turns blue. That tells us that, yes, this is a recognized clause. We're good. And we're going to start off with something really easy and just evaluate the expression 1 plus 1. So we just type 1 and then use the addition operator, which is just the plus symbol, and then 1. And I can execute this query. And you notice the result comes out as 2. If I wanted to do subtraction, and let's say select 5 minus 3, we can just use the hyphen, which is the subtraction symbol. If I want to do multiplication, let's do 4 times 4. We use the asterisk or the star to indicate that we're going to multiply values. And we can use the forward slash to indicate that we're going to divide those values. Okay? We're going to stay away from division because there's some weird things that happen that we're going to learn about, and we're going to get back to division when we talk about typecasting and SQL Server data types. So you're going to see a lot of these examples are going to be using addition, subtraction, and multiplication, and no division, and that's for a specific reason. So I talked about earlier that we are going to be looking at how order of operations plays a role in how our expressions are evaluated. And the same order that you would evaluate something on paper is the same way that SQL is going to evaluate a mathematical expression. So I think we all had those, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or some variation of a phrase to say, to help you remember, parentheses, then exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and then subtraction were the order in which we were to evaluate operations in a expression. So the same process applies in SQL. So if I wanted to do 5 times 5 first and then subtract, say, 3 times 5, by putting them in parentheses, I'm going to evaluate 25 minus, and then 3 times 5, 15, so I get 10. So nothing crazy is really happening here, nothing that we wouldn't expect to happen, but just understand that parentheses are really important, and the proper order of operations that you use to solve any mathematical expression is going to be evaluated the same way in SQL Server. So this is a real quick lesson. That's all I wanted to talk about, is show you guys how to use some math stuff, because as we get into some of the later topics, when we're doing aggregations and things like that, we may want to multiply column values or add column values together. So we just need to be aware of how to do that, and with the literal select statements, it makes it pretty easy. So next time we're going to talk about basic select statements, and we're going to actually begin to query one of these tables in our database.